p.m. in the afternoon in wet and slippery conditions. The aircraft was operating a charter service from Port Moresby to the island with 11 passengers and 3 crew members. The aircraft sustained some damage and recovery efforts were underway as of when the incident occurred. The first batch of elderly care trainees are ready for work following the completion of their training this week. This marks a major step forward for professional elderly care in Papua New Guinea. The Reformation Ministries and Churches Network PNG, through its RISEC Education and Training Services, announced that the trainees successfully completed their practical training this month. The training was carried out in partnership with Cheshire Disability Services, where the trainees gained hands-on experience in caring for elderly people and persons living with disabilities. This graduation comes at a time when the demand for professional elderly care services is growing across Papua New Guinea, especially as families and communities face changing social and economic pressures. RMC and PNG is a church-based organization guided by the vision of building man to build a godly nation. The organization believes national development begins by investing in people through training, skills development, and strong values. The training program is delivered under RISEC's 8-phase Human Resource Development Framework. The model supports people from early childhood to older age, ensuring skills training, character building, and pathways into employment. The framework is inclusive and ensures persons living with disabilities are given opportunities to train, work, and contribute meaningfully to society. Through this partnership, Cheshire Disability Services provides real-life training environments, while RISEC manages education programs and links graduates to employment opportunities in PNG and overseas. Organizers at Cheshire say the graduation of these elderly care trainees is a strong example of how partnerships can help build a skilled, compassionate, and inclusive workforce for the nation's future. Bank South Pacific has confirmed a fire at its Kerevat branch in East New Britain yesterday afternoon. Staff were safely evacuated and the branch is now closed. The fire broke out at around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, but was quickly contained by staff. An assessment is underway to determine the cause. The branch will remain closed for repairs. Customers can use cash agents, Kokopo or Rabaul branches, while digital banking remains active. Prime Minister James Marape has emphasized the importance of unity and respect among citizens as he was preparing to leave for the 56th World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Marape called on all citizens to take collective responsibility for addressing law and order issues and protecting the nation's image, particularly as the country seeks to promote tourism.
Highlighting the significance of tourism as a vital sector for economic growth, Prime Minister James Marape has urged citizens to actively contribute to a welcoming and a safe environment for both locals and visitors. He stressed that fostering a culture of respect and cooperation is essential to enhance Papua New Guinea's reputation on the global stage. Before departing for Switzerland on Thursday afternoon for the 56th World Economic Forum, the Prime Minister advocated for investment opportunities in tourism and other sectors, showcasing the natural beauty and cultural diversity of Papua New Guinea.
I want to ask all of our citizens, when we give a peaceful environment, it makes me and Deputy PM and government's job much, much easier to look for ways to attract more employers to come into a country or more visitors to come into a country as far as tourism is concerned. And the value add to this is second to none as far as us giving our country a peaceful environment. So please, I want to again, as I conclude this press, ask each citizens right across the country. Look at him law, look at him Konaplo, Papua New Guinea, East Parliament. Suppose you know how much James Marape, as I always said, I said yesterday, I will say again right through next year. You know, Hammaslo James Marabe, then Rossi Mill office in 2027. I'm right by you. But no can bagaram country. You know, Hammaslo Miblo one play get process lo deal one to this last time. No can bagaram country. You may look at one of my stop. Trying best long protecting country blue.
Marape called on all citizens to uphold law and order as it goes hand in hand with attracting international tourism, as a safe and respectful environment is crucial for potential travelers. Furthermore, the Prime Minister stated that he aims to inspire a sense of national pride and civic responsibility among all citizens, reinforcing the idea that everyone has a role to play in building a better future for the country.
The world certainly knows we exist. We are in an important geography. I just want to ask all of us, let's not send negative signals out to the country. Look after your space of our country in the beautiful diversity we have. Law and order, it's responsibility of all of us together. In the streets, in the suburbs, in the villages, in the highways, wherever we are placed in, especially where our people are intermingling. The Highlands communities, in the urban areas like in Port Moresby and Lae, in Hagen, in Kokopo, in Wewak. I want to ask each and every one of us, to the youths out there, we are doing our absolute best to make sure our country is being progressed, and you can help us even do better.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
5 men from Enga province have been charged with threatening, obstructing and assaulting a police officer in Port Moresby while he and his colleagues were attending to a complaint. Commander for NCD Central Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, Benjamin Turi, confirmed that the 5 men, 4 from Layagam and 1 from Kandep. He said one of the suspects assaulted a senior member of the Hohola police station and tore off his police uniform. The police were responding to a complaint made against the attacker. According to the initial police report, the men were at one of their late relatives' home at Hohola 5, attempting to remove his widow and their children and claim the property. The widow reported the incident to the police, who responded. The Australian Prime Minister's plan to rapidly strengthen hate and gun laws after the Bondi terror attack is facing a major roadblock. Both the Coalition and Greens are tonight refusing to back the bill in its current form.
Up north as he prepares for a political fight in Canberra.
I find the opposition leader's comments quite extraordinary.
Those comments indicating her party is unlikely to support Labor's proposed hate laws.
The opposition has extremely serious concerns.
Now feeling rushed after weeks of demanding the government take urgent action after the Bondi attack.
The bill is pretty unsalvageable.
It's a very short turnaround for massive changes which will have massive consequences for freedom of speech.
How is it that after calling for Parliament to be brought back, they're now saying, what's the rush, Parliament can wait into the never-never?
The other potential path through Parliament not looking great either.
The Greens will not be supporting this bill in its current form.
Still open to negotiations, but wanting much broader protections for protest and minorities.
We must tackle hate and racism in all its forms.
Putting the Prime Minister's timeline to pass the legislation in doubt.
This is a moment where people should be coming forward in good faith.
We did not create the timetable. The government created this timetable under significant pressure from the Coalition.
The Prime Minister still wants to pass this quickly, and the peak Jewish body is urging the Coalition in particular to not let perfect be the enemy of good. But given the concerns raised today, any changes would have to be significant to get this bill across the line.
The Prime Minister has visited flood-ravaged central Queensland, where he's announced additional disaster relief funding. The town of Clermont has faced its worst flood in 100 years from ex-tropical cyclone Koji, while calls for more warnings grow louder.
and unveiling a further $26 million in support for drenched Clermont.
The people here are resilient, but they've been doing it tough over recent days. And we're here to say that the federal government has got your back.
Locals say not enough warning was given to prepare their homes.
Many people, friends of ours, and they just didn't have the time, the warning to pack up and leave. It's something that could have really been avoided with the tech that we have these days and the data that we can, model from.
As frustrations grow over offline flood gauges in the northwest.
Some $236 million we've allocated over 10 years to upgrade flood warning infrastructure.
The Prime Minister has hit back at the Premier's comments earlier this week.
Communities are flying blind because there hasn't been the investment in things like rain gauges and in many places radar to warn of the impending danger.
The Queensland Premier is responsible for Queensland infrastructure.
Meanwhile, authorities are monitoring the Fitzroy catchment as floodwaters travel. Residents here in Rockhampton have begun to sandbag their properties, with forecasts the Fitzroy River could peak to more than 7.5 metres from early next week. The local council asking the public to stay informed and prepare their properties.
The Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League has today launched its gender equality strategy, which will work to advance gender equality in rugby league through an inclusive, safe and empowering environment that enables women, men, girls and boys to participate and lead at all levels of the game.
The strategic creation is supported by the Australian government through the PNG Rugby League Pathways program, which is working in partnership with PNG Rugby League stakeholders to build stronger foundations for men's and women's active participations and high performance in rugby league. It was developed through consultation with people playing, coaching and working in rugby league around the country, and a collaborative design process involving PNG RFL, the PNG NRL Academy and staff from the PNG Rugby League Pathways Development Program. The strategy is aligned to PNG RFL's vision of better people, better sport and better nation. In announcing the strategy ahead of a bumper year of women's programs and competitions in 2026, including PNG's hosting of World Cup matches, PNG RFL CEO Stanley Ondina thanked the effort from the stakeholders and acknowledged these strategies as a huge milestone for PNG RFL.
Together, and we've set it up to be the PNG RFL Women's Strategy. We were fortunate enough to get people who are subject matter experts in drafting the plan, and again, thanks to partnership with the Australian government and the support through the GHD to fund this process and to help. And we've pulled a strategy together, and I'm comfortable with the strategy at this launch now, having seen the alignments. If you see the slides that they put up, one of the blue slides had the alignments to where the plan is aligning to the pillars. It starts with the constitution of this country, equal participation and gender equality. It's one of the directive principles that this nation was built upon. The Vision 2050 talks about women. The MTDP4 talks about women. The PNG sports policy talks about women. So in that space, we got alignment to that. So
the strategy was authored by Miriam Dogimab, who is a gender equality and inclusion specialist who has worked across Papua New Guinea, including closely with health, law and justice and community sectors. It defines practical actions for rugby league stakeholders to drive progress for women and girls in 4 areas: participation, leadership, visibility, and safe and respectful environment. The areas include participation, which is to increase opportunities for women and girls to engage in rugby league in all roles, whether as players, coaches, or support staff. Visibility, to elevate the presence of women in rugby league through media coverage, storytelling, representation, and ambassadors, ensuring their contributions are recognized and celebrated. And leadership, to foster women leaders who can influence decision-making and inspire positive change within the sport. Michael Tamtipais, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the midday news. Do join me at 6 tonight for the main bulletin.